Later on today, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna help Jay climb up the mast to the first spreader. He's got some line work to do. Silver Girl is the first boat I ever raced on. It's the first sailboat I ever tipped over in the water in. It's the first sailboat I ever lifted both the sails. It's the first sailboat I ever steered with a wheel. There's a lot of firsts that happen on that boat. So, nostalgic is an understatement. I'm just making a little 12 volt tester right here because I need to pull my bilge pump and figure out why it's not working. I put it in last year and essentially it's not running, so we gotta fix that. Let's get down there and do it. Anytime I open up any compartment, Cricket comes running like, ooh, is there any place to hide in the boat? I've never seen that spot. Okay, so this is the bilge. In my sailboat, I have what's called a wet bilge, which means it's never going to dry out. The propeller shaft takes seawater or lake water and uses it to lubricate, which means there's going to be about 3 drops of water coming in the boat every minute the whole life of the boat. So this bilge will always be wet and will always need to be pumped out. But this right here, this water is 2 weeks worth of that drip, so it's not even a half an inch. But the concept of a dry bilge is not every boat has dry bilges where you can store food and stuff in. This pump I put in last year, and for some reason it's not working. So I'm going to try to pull it out, and we're going to test it with a battery just to see if it's the wiring or if it's the pump. Now when you look in here, this is a type of algae that's always in a bilge unless you spray bleach, but it's going to come back 3 days later, so I leave it alone. It doesn't smell and it doesn't bother me at all. But I am videoing me removing these wires because there's a positive wire that's always on, and that allows the float in the pump to turn on when you're not here. And then there's a positive wire that goes to the switch. So we'll pull it out and take a look at it. All right, at this point, I got the connectors off and I got the wires stripped so we can test the pump and see if it was like the negative connector, basically, right? My troubleshooting typically starts by testing whether the connections running to and from whatever apparatus it is are good. Alright, so it works. It works with the switch and it works with the float. So we're going to put this back in, redo the connectors. I'll run a bunch of water through the whole system just to make sure it works and that it works automatic. And otherwise, I think this is going to be a quick fix. Yeah. I'll admit, this is something I should have done and checked. You should just know that's working. But to be fair, I didn't have one of these until a year ago when I learned about them and I put them in. The boat doesn't come with something like this. This is where I'm at right now. Before I started putting melting heat shrink around the connections, I kind of was just checking to see what was working in here. I'm able to get the motor to work on the pump or on the float. So from what I'm seeing here, there's nothing wrong with the wire that's running right to the battery to give it 12 volts, but there's something wrong with the switch. So I just got this switch out, and honestly I think the ground wasn't connected here either. Sorry, buddy. Alright, so now let's check if we can get the pump to work from this positive. Okay, so it's got positive here, not here. Oh, the switch is just turned the wrong way. Alright, let's see if it works down here now. Oh shit. Okay, so this wire fell off the back of the switch. and that made the switch not work. As well, the ground connection down here wasn't working. So the float didn't work and the manual on didn't. Both of them didn't have access to power. And now they both do. So I'm going to clean this all up, put it all away, put the carpet over here, and we're back to nice pretty yacht, and we don't have to look down here ever again. Right? Except Cricket's going to go down in there. In the beginning of season 2, I was down in Tennessee looking to build that houseboat for moonshine. And I had to come back up here to deal with the sailboat because dog hair clogged the drains and filled this area with about 6 inches of water. See the board on the left here? On the bottom of the screen, I'm sorry. That needs to be replaced. And that's something when I get to a nice, beautiful spot, we'll go through and we'll replace it all. My goal is to slowly replace every piece of wood in this boat that has any water damage. And then when I'm done with all of that, I will go through and sand and varnish and maybe do some staining to get everything a little bit closer to identical. And that's something I'm going to do over the next 2 years. That's not something I'm in any rush to do. And it's really something that you have to be motivated to do correctly because it's very tedious. And right now I'm motivated to travel. So I'm getting within the next 45 days I'm going to be leaving Wisconsin, probably for the last time. I'll come back to visit every once in a while, but I'll never live here again. I spent a lot of my life here. I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and around 2 years old I moved here. So I've been here for 42 years. Yeah, long time. So, yeah. Later on today, I'm going to run over and I'm going to help Jay go up his hoist. I think it's something people should see, how we do it. And remember, while we're going through it, remember, when this stuff happens, we're at the dock right now, planning to do everything, so it's great and it's nice. In real life, what happens is your sail gets stuck up there, or you lose a line and you're out in the middle of the lake and you need to go up there when you're actually on the water. So remember that while we're doing this, we're sitting at a dock on a beautiful sunny day. So it's not the same as being out on the ocean and dealing with it how you see on other channels, because when it goes wrong, one of the things is you have to go up the mast to fix it. There's no question about it.
Pull as I go up. You're going to try to pull as much as you can, but I'll do most of my body weight, right? When you get up there, you can close the clutch, bring it around the cleat, and then 2/2 hitches.
Okay. And then you feel safe hanging there from that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. The braking strength of that line is somewhere around 8,000 pounds.
I was going to say it's not hundreds, it's thousands.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you had I saw you eat your breakfast. If you don't know how to sail, the first thing that you should do is join a race team. Everyone will tell you take classes, take courses. In reality, joining a race team like Silver Girl has, every Friday they go out racing with a crew. I was able to just join them and watch everything they're doing. Then I go out during the week and I relive it and test it on my boat and relive what sail they used, and I test that sail and everything I learned during the race on my boat. I've also been able to watch how Jay responds to different issues on his boat, how he fixes things, the approach he takes, and the maintenance. There's so much you don't know about maintenance on a boat, but when you're sitting here at a dock and you see the interaction with a captain and his boat over and over and over, it's really easy to pick up on it. And it hasn't cost me a dime. I didn't pay anything to join his racing team. I didn't pay anything to watch him fix his boat all the time. This is all free stuff. And it's one of the best ways to learn about boating is to just have a friend that has a boat and knows what they know and know what they're doing with their boat. So show us this.
So this is a custom designed bosun's chair made by my father's old company, my grandfather's old company, Hathaway, Reeser, and Raymond. And built for comfort, unlike the web designs of today that are made for speed and ease of getting up quickly. but it's a lot more comfortable for spending a day in a rig.
Very cool. It looks like you could climb a mountain with it, so to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like, one of the tricks is it's not as great for hoisting yourself up because your legs are supported so well, where the strap one, right, doesn't have
Okay.
this huge part, so
Okay.
you can push with your legs,
Move
as you
down.
climb a little bit.
This makes you sit in a seat.
It makes you sit in a seat. That's
Okay.
right.
I bought this sailboat having never sailed. I was never on a sailboat before. The moment I was on the boat, we went out and pulled the sails up, and that was the first time I had ever sailed. I bought the boat on that ride. I started to move on the boat. Once I felt comfortable with that, I sold every possession I had on land and got my stuff down to where I was a minimalist and I could move on to boats. Um, Now I'm at the point where I know enough and I feel comfortable enough where I need to start traveling with this boat. Here's the plan at this point. The Illinois waterway. So basically, what normally would happen in a normal year is a person would drive from anywhere on the Great Lakes to Chicago and take the Illinois waterway over to the Mississippi, and then they can decide to go down the Mississippi to the Gulf, or they can decide to go up the Ohio River, up the Tennessee River, and then down the Tom's Bigsby to the Gulf. So there's two routes. The problem is, right now it's 2023, and the Illinois waterway is on its third go around for closing the waterway to the public for public use and doing maintenance on several of their locks. I've been in contact with the Port Authority and the Harbor Master, and they email you right back, and they'll explain where they're at and whether it's going to get done early or late. Essentially, they believe it's going to be a little bit late this year. And I have seen people try to make this trip while leaving in November or October, and it's just not fun. So what I've decided to do is put my boat on a truck, on a semi. I'm going to drive up to Port Washington. I'm going to have Great Lakes shipping move my boat. And the question now is where I need to find a crane to take it off of that truck to put it back in the river, whether it's on the Mississippi River or the Ohio. I got to find a place where they can lift it off of the truck. River has wanted to go on this wall for 3 years now. Hey, River, 2 years now, 2 seasons now. And I think I'm gonna let him go up here. I don't see why not. It's the break wall. I'm pretty sure that ships are allowed to dock right here. Go. Hey, don't go. Hey, River, 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 River! Ooh, almost got a seagull. Yeah, probably wasn't that good of an idea. Come here. Come here. Hey, right now. Come here. Come here. You almost got a seagull. Get over here. Hey, get in the boat. Let's go. Right now. Whoa, that was a little energetic. I'm pretty sure birds are not used to a dog being out here. There's a ladder right there, too, so I think we're allowed to be over here. I probably should have kept him on a leash. That was fun. What's funny is seagulls are about half the size of River. They're big, big, big birds, and they eat big fish all day, every day. And they poop big poops. This is our Summerfest grounds. It's the Milwaukee Festival area. It's 11 main stages. It typically goes over about a 10-day period, and there are over 800 music acts. You can drive in here by boat and get a free show, or you can just buy a ticket and go to the festival anytime you want. This is 3 blocks from my dock, so when it's running, all you hear in the area around here is just music, music, music all the time. So this beach is getting really pretty wavy. In fact, I'm going to have some trouble getting the boat back out onto the lake. So I'm going to head to the south shore because that's inside the breakwater and that beach won't have any waves at it. So you gotta see these things coming up. If this got too much bigger, it'd be really hard to get the boat out of here. Just a typical typical day out on Lake Michigan. We have 3 foot waves happening here, and it's what's called a confused state, which means they're not coming from any direction. They're just all over the place. And the only boats out here are big boats, which means the wake that comes off of them is 3 to 4 feet. Here comes a wake from that other boat right now, which means I can't go fast. I have to go slow to go through them, otherwise we'll flip. Taking the dog on a walk sometimes isn't worth it. Sometimes. And then you jump over to the south shore, and the break wall blocks the waves coming in from the lake. The city blocks the wind coming over the shore, so the water is really calm on this side. It's amazing how much it can change from one spot to another on Lake Michigan. Happy 4th of July, you guys. I will see you guys in the next episode. Remember to throw up a like or a comment, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so.